I've sort of been at Blizzard for 15 years. It's very different today than when I first started. We were in a kind of an office park. It was very nondescript, right? It was a sort of normal office park with a whole bunch of normal buildings. You would never have known that it was a video game campus. The volume of games and the number of games and the amount of people that we have working on those different games is very different today.
30 years for me to date myself. It's crazy to think how gaming in general has changed, and Blizzard has grown along with that.
Everything. And for many different reasons. If there's one thing the last year has taught us, it's that being a part physically doesn't stop us.
The team on World of Warcraft has never been larger. There's never been more people focused within the company working on World of Warcraft. Two separate MMO teams that are driving these two separate things. And we found a way to unify a lot of the back-end technology and have it work. One of the smart decisions I think we made was like, look, there's one subscription and it works with both games, and you can kind of dip in, dip out to either one at any moment. WoW Classic is really just the classic game is just from a different era of gaming. The pace and the way that it works is considerably different. And so to have these communities really migrate and kind of be separate, I think has been a big surprise to me. I think we thought we'd have a lot of people try WoW Classic and say, wow, that's great. And now I have that. And, I'm going to go back to regular WoW or whatever. But we've seen a lot of people, millions of them, kind of really stick with WoW Classic. We think about it as these different communities that we want to kind of continue to support. I remember standing in front of the company. We got 2 games within the Diablo franchise coming out, and isn't that exciting? Oh wait, did I say 2? I meant 3. And you're going to see another Diablo game that we're working on, and people, within the company are just so excited because Diablo 2 is such a seminal game within the sort of the pantheon of great Blizzard games. Part of the secret now that we can kind of reveal is there's been a percentage of the Vicarious Vision folks that have been working on the Diablo II Remaster for quite some time. It's not a new thing. We've actually been working with them for quite a while. A lot of the front end and graphics and work has been done by the Vicarious Visions team, and a lot of the back end and server engineering and kind of integration with Battle.net has kind of been done by Blizzard. And so we've always had this idea that if things were going well, there'd be some sort of larger partnership. And now you see that larger partnership in action.
It'll be exciting to get that kind of into players' hands to tide them over for Diablo 4, which will come thereafter. If you look at the kind of the history of gaming over the last 30 years, genres come and go. There's a question now whether RTSs, as we think of them traditionally, like Starcraft, whether that genre has evolved into something new. And so you look at the tower defense games now, or MOBAs, where players are focused on fewer number of units and controlling those units more directly. We have a ton of ideas on how to maybe think about that genre, the real-time strategy genre. And so we'll see what the future holds there.
If you think about the story of the Overwatch League, we had, I think 2 or 3 weeks of home and away at the beginning of last year. And then the pandemic hit. So the team pivoted to kind of an online only, and that's the mode that they continued and finished the season. We did have a plan to have sort of not an in-person viewing, but a local place where we had the finals in Korea, and a way to kind of bring the teams together that were part of that finals. It ended up having the highest viewership of any of our finals, and so the trajectory I think is still very good.
We moved too quickly in our decision making. We were too slow to talk with all of you. I am sorry, and I accept accountability.
Really the key point in that moment was to desire to do better, and for us to have a more thoughtful response as we move forward. The rule for us has always been to make the best game possible, and then do whatever you can to support different business models, different payment methods, and any kind of different cultural things that you need to be aware of.
Our mission statement is actually to bring the world together through epic gaming. Part of how we aspire to do that, in addition to making great games, is to provide communities that are inclusive and safe for gamers to come together. And so we know around the world there's many differing viewpoints. Even within Blizzard, there are many differing viewpoints. Part of what we hope to do is to keep our communities and our platforms sort of free from those types of conversations as best we can, and focus everybody on having a good time together, inclusively playing games. We need to be careful because the world is quite charged. People are quite sensitive. A lot of our gamers are very passionate about many different sort of ideas. And so we need to be sensitive to that, even as we keep our platform sort of safe and inclusive for everybody.